Hello everyone, my name is Miss Andrews and I will be the student teacher under Miss White this semester. I'm really excited to get to work with you guys. So for today I wanted to read along on Blood on the River with you guys, and what I wanted to do to kind of make your guys' lives a little easier is as we read I'm going to stop at points in which questions can be answered for your quiz. So what I want you guys to do, if you haven't done it yet, I want you to go and find your assignment for chapters 1 and 2, the quiz, and pull it up, because as we read, I'm going to have you guys pause the video and answer the questions that go along with the story. So I'll be stopping at different points so you guys can answer those questions. So if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and pause this video real quick and go ahead and pull up that quiz and then come right back and we'll get started. So with that being said, go ahead and start with chapter 1. In the time of the first planting of corn, there will come a tribe from the bay of the Chesapeake. The tribe will build their longhouses on the land of the Powhatan. They will hunt and fish and plant on the land of the Powhatan. 3 times the Powhatan will rise up against this tribe. The first battle will end and the Powhatan will be victorious. But the tribe will grow strong again. The Powhatan will rise up. The second battle will end and the Powhatan will be victorious. But the tribe will grow strong once more. The third battle will be long and filled with bloodshed. By the end of this battle, the Powhatan kingdom will be no more. Prophecy delivered to Chief Powhatan, ruler of the Powhatan Empire, by his trusted priests sometime before the Christian year 1607. So, question number 1 says, what did the Powhatan chief predict? So based on this passage, what was predicted would happen? So pause this video real quick, go answer that question, and come right back. London, England, October 1606. My feet slap, bare and cold on the cobblestones. I'm breathing hard from running. I turn the corner. The street is dark and empty. It's my chance. I find the right door under the sign with the 3 gold balls. I've carried a rock with me. I slam the rock down hard on the padlock, pounding until it breaks free. Inside the pawn shop, it is quiet and musty. Smells of old wood and candle wax. There is the locket, displayed on a piece of beaver felt. I close my fingers around the cool, smooth silver. I haven't touched it since the day she died. Mine. It should have been mine, because it was hers. I pull, but it is wired down tightly. I hear footsteps outside. I panic, yank on the wire, too hard. The wire slices my hand. I see my blood drip, but the locket is in my grasp. You! Boy! A man lumbers into the shop. It's the shopkeeper, come from his house across the street. He lunges, grabs me, but I'm too fast. I squirm away and run, escape out into the fog, and I'm lost, disappeared. I walk along the docks, past the dark hulks of ships, bobbing slowly. My heart is still racing. I try to calm myself. I listen to sailors laughing and arguing, their card games stretching into the night. I even venture a whistle. Nothing fancy, just my own tune. The shopkeeper will not find me, I promise myself. When he sees me in the daylight, he will not know it was I who wrenched out of his grasp in the dark shop, and he certainly would never guess that I have not stolen anything, only taken back what is mine. It should have been given to me when she died, this locket of my mother's. So, question number 2, why does the thief feel he is entitled to the locket? So why does the thief think he deserves the locket? So go ahead, answer that question, and come right back. This will bring a pretty penny, they said at the poorhouse. It will pay for some of the extra food you eat. Can I help it if I'm always hungry? Then they expected me to stay on and keep working in the nailery, keep letting them beat me when they felt like it, as if I wanted to live in the poorhouse, as if Mum and I had wanted to be kicked out of our cottage on our farm, as if the blight was our fault and we wanted the crops to rot in the fields, and had planned all along not to pay the rent to the lord of our cottage. But I chose the streets instead. I'd rather dig in the garbage heaps with the rats for my meals. Who knows? Maybe my mum would still be alive if she hadn't been a widow and hadn't had to work so hard. First for the greasy, fat gentleman who owned our farm and cottage, And then, after we've been kicked off making nails for 12 hours a day to pay our way at the poorhouse, maybe she would still be alive if she had an easier time of it. Not my father, though. He'd have drunk himself to death no matter what. So, question number 3. What is a poorhouse? So pause this video, go answer that real quick, what you think is a poorhouse, and come right back. I find my favorite hollow near the London Bridge. Spiked on a pole atop the bridge is the severed head of a traitor, a man who betrayed the crown of England and paid for it with his life. I turn my face away so I don't have to look at those dull, staring eyes. I curl up to go to sleep. For this one night, the locket is around my neck, hidden under my shirt. One night. A sharp kick to the ribs wakes me. This looks like the one done it, scraggly hair and scrawny as a broomstick. I'm on my feet in a split second. Grab him! I try to twist free, but hands close on my arms, my neck. It's the shopkeeper and his burly son. I thrash and kick. They tighten their hold until it hurts. The shopkeeper pulls the locket out from under my shirt. Ah, what have we here? He says. A grin shows teeth brown as worms. It's mine, I cry. Mine! They don't listen. They talk between themselves as they tie my arms behind me with ropes. The magistrate will enjoy this delivery. Another criminal off the streets. The sooner he's hanged, the better. I throw my head back hard, and it hits the son square in the chin. Yow, he cries. He made me bite my tongue. He returns my blow. One swipe of his hand to the side of my head, just like my father used to do. And just like in the old days, I see black. I feel my knees crumple, and I'm out before I hit the ground. Some would say I'm lucky. Others would say I'm doomed. This is chapter 2, by the way. I escaped the gallows. That is why I am lucky. The magistrate mumbled something about having a son my age, pulled me out of my dark jail cell after just 2 days and marched me down to the orphanage. His name is Samuel Collier, age 11, son of dead peasants. Can you take him? He asked Reverend Hunt when he opened the orphanage door. So, pause real quick. The next question is, how is the thief lucky? So, how did the book say that the thief is lucky? Answer that real quick and come right back. The Reverend nodded to the magistrate and showed me to my bed in a row of neatly made beds. Reverend Hunt is a tall, quiet man with broad shoulders and more patience than anyone I have ever known. He tells me I have a lot to learn about right and wrong. It was wrong to steal the locket, he says. It was no longer yours. It belonged to the pawn shop owner. He says I need to make decisions based on love, not on anger. I love my mom and I wanted her locket back. So I was acting out of love, I say. He just shakes his head. The locket would not have brought your mother back, he says. I know he is right, and I know the real reason I stole it is that I was angry at the bosses of the poorhouse, angry at our landlord, angry at the world. But how can I make decisions based on love when there is no one left to love? So question number 5. Why does Samuel say there is no one left to love? So pause this video, go answer that, and come right back. The orphanage was not a bad place. Better than sleeping on the streets. Maybe if I'd been less of a danger to the boys, they'd have let me stay. But the boys started calling me a thief and jail rat, and I knew only one way to settle the argument, with my fists. Colin's nose spurting bright red blood was quite an accomplishment, but I think Richard's tooth only fell out because it was already loose when I punched him. As for being doomed, if I am doomed, then so is Richard. We are the 2 boys Reverend Hunt decided to bring with him on this journey to the new world. Richard is to be the Reverend's servant, and I am to serve a man called Captain John Smith. It is early on a December morning as we walk from the orphanage to the docks. Fog hangs thick and cold. It makes the stone houses drip and the wattle and dog houses look soggy. Richard carries Reverend Hunt's satchel, heavy with his books and Bible and some extra clothes. My new shoes clomp on the cobblestone. The shoes are too big, passed on from an older boy who died at the orphanage last month. But Reverend Hunt says I can't go barefoot into the new world. The new world. The boys. Colin and the others think we will die there. They even begged Reverend Hunt not to go. The Reverend explained to them the importance of the mission. King James has granted them a charter to the Virginia Company of London to send men to the New World, to Virginia. The men will explore for gold, silver, and jewels, and for a new passage to the Orient, and they'll cut down New World trees to send back to England to build English houses, all to make a big profit for the investors of the Virginia Company. But the real importance, Reverend Hunt says, is to bring the good news of Christ to the native people who live in Virginia. He says we'll also look for survivors from the Roanoke colony, the settlers who went to Virginia with Sir Walter Raleigh over 20 years ago. That is why Reverend Hunt wants to go. But I want to go for the gold. They say it washes up on shore with every tide. So, next 2 questions. The first one is, where is the New World located? And then the second one, what will the men explore for in the New World? So go answer those real quick and come back. We reach the harbor. The sky is gray with morning light, and the place is alive with commotion. Hawkers call out their wares, and I smell fresh-baked bread. Sailors pull on ropes and pulleys, lifting barrels to swing from each ship's yardarm so they can be loaded on board. Officers shout orders, and sailors march up the gangways, carrying loads on their shoulders. Reverend Hunt points out the 3 ships that will be ours. Their hulls and scaffolding are newly painted in rich blue, deep maroon, and pale yellow. He says the largest one is the Susan Constant. Next in size is the Godspeed, and the smallest, a pinnace, is the Discovery. We bob next to the docks, and I watch as crates of chickens are carried on board. So question number 8 is, what are the names of the ships? So go up, pause this video, go answer that question, come back. I scan the throng of men milling around the docks. There are hordes of gentlemen dressed in velvet and silk, sailors in their wide-legged slops, and one very dirty boy selling eels. I wonder where he is, this Captain John Smith. Reverend Hunt says he is a soldier, an officer, not a ship's captain, but a captain in the English military. And he is a commoner, a yeoman, so I don't look for him among the gentlemen. I am to be Captain Smith's page, which means I'm supposed to serve him and learn from him. I don't argue with Reverend Hunt, but inside I scoff at the idea. Me, an apprentice to an officer? I've never been teachable in my life, except my mom teaching me how to read. That I sat still for. But my father tried teaching me smithing, and when I ruined a piece of iron, out came his fist. I won't have some man I hardly know trying to beat some sense into me. So, question number 9 is an open response, so you be sure to write full sentences and answer the whole question. Question number 9 says, why does Samuel not want to be John Smith's page? How do you know? So go up, type out your answer real quick, and come right back. A man comes marching up, his face flushed red with anger. A sword hangs by his side, and his cape flies as he walks. They're sending nothing but gentlemen, he shouts at Reverend Hunt. By God, who will build the houses? Who will grow the crops? Do they think they can eat gold and silver they are hoping to find? He spits on the ground. I know these gentlemen. They'll expect to have everything done for them, expect it to be easy. They won't lift a finger to do work. Reverend Hunt speaks calmly, lays a hand on the man's shoulder. John, there are carpenters going too, and laborers and these boys, and more gentlemen than commoners, the man shouts. The investors of the Virginia Company were raving mad when they chose the men for this journey. Then suddenly he seems to notice me and Richard. Is this the boy you promised me? Which one is the fighter? Reverend Hunt nods my way. The man, who I think must be Captain John Smith, narrows his eyes at me. I narrow my eyes back at him. I have a moment to study him while he studies me. Not tall, but stocky and strong. Curly, reddish-brown hair and a beard. Flashing green eyes. If you beat me, I'll spit in your ale, I threatened silently. Captain Smith smiles slightly, almost as if he heard my unspoken threat. Yes, he says slowly, we'll take that energy you've got for fighting and put it to some good use. He turns to Reverend Hunt. At least we'll have a good worker here. Is that what he plans for me? To make me into a workhorse? I cross my arms over my chest and scowl. Captain Smith looks about the crowd. Where is Captain Newport? He asks impatiently. I want to speak to him about this gentleman problem. He marches off, leaving us behind. Reverend Hunt turns to me and Richard. There are men here whom you must show extra respect to. You understand? Richard and I both nod. I have never seen so many finely dressed gentlemen in one place. Over there, Reverend Hunt points discreetly